Kentucky and Clemson, what a game this was. 38-35, Clemson gets the win, a back-and-forth game. Guys, you just look at the scoreboard in this one. You look at the box score. 42 total points scored in the fourth quarter. 42 total points. And this was a game, guys, my biggest takeaway from this one, and it's no secret, I despise Clemson, and so I was not thrilled with the winner. But, what this game sort of reminded me of, and I think probably reminded a lot of us of, is that not every game has to have some immense meaning or be for a championship or be for a ring to be awesome. And that's what that Clemson-Kentucky game was. I mean, it just, that was just a great, really fun, really entertaining college football game. The back and forth, the drama, the big plays, two teams that, again, in the Gator Bowl, they're not playing for anything crazy, but two teams that you could tell that really wanted that victory. It was just fun. It was just pure, unfiltered college football fun. That's what it was. You know what I mean? And that's healthy for the sport, I think. That's healthy when, it's we've gotten this mode where if a game's not a playoff game, then it doesn't matter. If it's not for a title, then it doesn't matter. If it doesn't have these implications or that implications, that's why I always disagree with when you expand the playoff, the games mean nothing. The regular season means nothing. To who? Because I think people that still love the game, love college football, love the dramatics, love the pageantry, love the randomness, are still going to love every single week. The games are still going to matter. And I think Clemson-Kentucky was a really, really fun reminder that not every game has to be for a championship to enjoy it. Not every game has to have that on the line, if you will. But you look at this game, guys. From the Kentucky side, prevent defense prevents you from winning. Bottom line, prevent defense prevents you from winning. What are you doing? What are you doing on that last drive? What are you doing? How do you let Clemson go down the field like that and score? Just mind-boggling to watch Kentucky in that final drive, what they did, the way they played that, the way they schemed that. And I know that's one Cats fans are going to be thinking about that final drive for a long time in Lexington because it's inexcusable. And especially Mark Stoops, a defensive guy who's paid very handsomely in Lexington. Again, defense is what he hangs his hat on. And Clemson racked up 367 total yards, 264 of those through the air. And guys, Clemson had not been very good passing the football or offensively in general. So, guys, you look at this game. Devon Leary, I thought, he was what he was in 2023, and he was more of that in this game. He wasn't bad. 16 of 28, 306, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. That's just kind of what he was. He was a guy that came in the season with an immense amount of hype and expectation and excitement around what he could do and what he could be in that Liam Cohen offense. And he always left you wanting more. He always left you wanting more. It seemed like game after game, outing after outing. Ray Davis, 13 for 63, a touchdown. Didn't really pop off till late in the game, but I tell you guys, I think he's a guy that deserved better. It's unfortunate. As good as Ray Davis was this season, he deserved better than 7-6. That's for sure. Deserved far better than going 7-6. One of the questions I had, guys, all throughout the season, and, looking at this game, I don't understand why it took Kentucky's wide receivers so long to live up to the hype, right? Because Barryon Brown was fantastic, 3 for 100 for a touchdown. He also, if I recall correctly, yes, he was the one. He had the kickoff return for a touchdown, 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Dane Key was great in this game, 4 for 83 and a touchdown. Jordan Dingle, Their tight end, great tight end, one catch for 72 yards. But that duo of Brown and Key, who we thought, guys, I mean, we talked about over the summer that, and I remember asking Mark Stoops about it at SEC Media Days, this was the best crop of receivers he had ever had in his time in Lexington. It just, again, probably because of Devon Leary's struggles, but they never lived up to the hype and the expectation of what everybody thought what they thought they could be. Just never were that. And guys, you look at this game again, it was a fun game, fun back and forth game. And I think it goes to show that not every game has to have a ring on the line or college football playoff implications on the line. Not every game has to have no safety net, if you will, or mean everything to be just a great game and a fun game and one that we all enjoy. But, you look at this game for Kentucky and you finish 7-6 in the 2023 season. And Kentucky was a team that, I picked over the summer to go 8-4. I thought 8 wins would be a good year for Kentucky. And you look at their regular season, like 7-5. I mean, it's not terrible. There's some teams in the SEC that would have, without a doubt, traded their records for Kentucky's. But, guys, when you factor in the fact that Kentucky practically had 5 built-in wins on their schedule. They had the 3 non-conference cupcakes. They had Vandy, who I know beat them in 2022, but let's be honest, right? That was a win. And then Mississippi State, guys, that we didn't know in the preseason, in Starkville especially, would be a kick-in. And I know that Kentucky had really tough history in Starkville, but I mean, what Mississippi State turned into, that was a gimme. They had 5 built-in wins. Started the season 5-0. And can only muster 7 total. Go 2-6 in your last 8 games. And I just, I think there's a lot of question marks on Mark Stoops going into 2024. I just wonder, I know, and I don't think this is disrespectful. Kentucky fans might correct me and say that it is. I mean, I think Kentucky basketball is number one. I think it's going to take a lot for football to ever overcome basketball. But, I just wonder, what do they want to be in football? What is their goal? What are their expectations? Because I just wonder now, what is Kentucky under Mark Stoops? We've gotten to a point to where just making bowl games and winning 8 games, that's a big deal in Lexington, man. That's a great season, especially for those of us growing up. New Kentucky is just terrible, down there with Vandy. So, going 7-6, that's not a season to necessarily turn your nose up at, but is Mark Stoops, can he still is there belief in Lexington that Mark Stoops can still take them to the next level? I just wonder if Cats fans still believe in Mark Stoops. And I just wonder, you bring in Brock Vandegrift from the transfer portal. They're bringing in, Kentucky. They bring Jamar Dumas Johnson in from Georgia at the linebacker position. So, Kentucky's adding talent. So, I don't expect Kentucky to necessarily go anywhere or fall off, quote unquote. But, has the program kind of capped out at 8 wins? Is that going to be Kentucky? Which, again, maybe we should keep more perspective and say, you know what? If Kentucky can go 7-5 or 8-4 every year, that's a hell of a job. And they should sign Mark Stoops to a lifetime contract. But I just wonder, is that what Kentucky's going to be? Is that all they are? And again, I like Mark Stoops, and I think the culture he's built, right? I think, we talked about Missouri and believing in a guy and giving him time. And I mean, I think that's what you've seen in Kentucky as well. I think, Kentucky's a great case study of why it's a good idea to give a guy you believe in time to work, time to build, time to grow. And you believe and hope and expect that you'll see the return on investment. You'll see that play out in the field. But now I just wonder, we've come to this crossroads. Mark Stoops was about to take the job in College Station. And I don't know how much Kentucky fans care about that. But, I just wonder, what is Kentucky football under Stoops? What are they going to be? So, again, a tough loss, certainly. I mean, again, it's not the end of the world. It's just quote unquote, it's just a bowl game, but it's Kentucky misses a big opportunity to get to 8 wins, to have something positive leaving their season going into the 2024 offseason. With the expanded SEC now, with the SEC with Texas and Oklahoma, where does a program like Kentucky fall? Where are they now in the pecking order, right? Where are they in the pecking order? As programs like Ole Miss, Mizzou ascend, where do they go? Are they going to be on the upward trajectory with the rest, or are they going to fall back down to the middle of the pack or even the bottom third or bottom fourth of the conference? So a lot of questions loom for Mark Stoops and the Kentucky Wildcats entering what will be a pivotal 2024 season in his tenure in Lexington.